final segment, Chef Peterson demonstrates the blind baking method for baking pie shells.
In order to make cream pies, you have to have a pie shell that's already baked. That process is called blind baking. Now I have a pie shell that I made earlier here. I'm going to show you how to blind bake it a very easy way. I got two different techniques. The first technique is basically you put a pie shell on top of the pie, and what you do, you fill it with beans. And bean is what we call the weight that's going to keep the pie shells from baking up and bubble up. But before you do that, you want to make sure that you take and you dock the bottom of the pie shell. When you dock the bottom of the pie shell, air is expelled and there will be no bubbles in the bottom of the pie shell. It's very important that you dock the pie shell. Just the bottom of it is enough. And then you put your pie shell on top like this. And you fill it with beans. You're going to use rice also. You want to make sure it's nice and heavy so that it does not pop up. In the baking process, the pie shell will actually try to come out because it is a leveling in there because of the layers of fat we have in there. However, the weight of the bean is going to keep it from doing that. Before you put it in the oven, though, you want to make sure that you clean your pie shell so it's nice and even. Again, I'm using a rubber spatula or a plastic spatula. Have a nice even crust. At this point here, you just put this in the oven, and again it's a 420 degree oven. And again I have the sheet pan in the bottom of the oven, so make sure that's hot too. Now this pie shell is going to bake for about 35 minutes before it's done. However, it's very important to check it, so maybe after 20 minutes you check it. Take the top pie shell off, check and see if the bottom of the pie crust is starting to take color. But it's usually between 35 and 40 minutes for a pie shell like this if you have an oven about 410 degrees. It's now been about 45 minutes. I checked it earlier and it's just about ready to come out. Let's double check and see how the pie shell looks. Very carefully, it's still hot. And here we have a very nice, freshly baked, blind baked pie shell. This can be used for cream pies as well as lemon meringue pies if possible. The second method of doing a blind baked pie crust is, again, you put the pie shell like this, then you flip it upside down and you put it in the oven. And then as a weight, to keep it from rising up too much, you take a couple of sheet pans and put on top of the pie crust and use that as a weight. This gives exactly the same technique as you use with the beans, however, just a little bit different. You don't have to have the beans available in order to do this. It works just as well. It's the same result as it's come out of the oven. Again, it still takes the same amount of time. I would say between 35 and 40 minutes, and that should be fine.